Yes, it's happening. All right, season 4! Appropriate applause chunks. Appropriate excitement level activated. We have K Caruso. We have
Hola.
a new juicy season. We have hella news. We have hella news by Mallow Jones. Greg Brown, even though he wasn't able to be here today, we're doing this single host status. We've still got hella news. But mostly science news, which is like, I think the juiciest. I think it's the favorite bits. But first, let's like front load some plugs because you're up to cool stuff. Let's toss that in the beginning.
Right out of the gate.
Right? You get some plugs, just front load them.
Well,
Yeah, what are you excited about that you're doing right now, K Caruso?
the most exciting thing that has happened to me recently is I got a brand new amp.
Whoa, that you're plugging your K-line guitars into?
K-line guitars.
K-line.
But the amp comes from Third Power.
Oh, yeah, Third Power.
Boutique company out of Nashville that, my goodness.
A powerful boutique
It is
company.
the Tone Quest is over.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude, that says a lot
that's
from
a
you,
wrap.
though. You're like Tone Quest till death.
I'm telling you, this amp does it all.
Dude, so wait.
And
like,
ridiculously well.
what's the hardest thing to find in an amp that this amp gets done for you?
Versatility.
See, I was going to say, like, I notice with an amp that just has a certain, like, go-to sound that you might love, you try to get, like, a different tone out of it, and your volume's all out of whack, and you can't switch between happy sounds as easily without tons of level issues.
I'll tell you what she did. The genius behind this is a patent pending, not patent pending, I'm sorry. She
Like,
has
all the way patented.
has a patent for a thing called Hybrid Master, which is it basically acts as old school Variac. You can dime the front end of your preamp, get all the gain that you want, get all the tone that you want, and then take your Hybrid Master and turn it down to room volume, and you don't lose any of the saturation.
For people wondering what a Variac is, that changes the voltage of the power, like of the wall current from the amp. Like a Variac, you could make your amp able to get less power from the wall and lower its overall volume that way.
Now, and I'm not sure that that's how it works, but it works. It does essentially the same thing, so that you can have a cranked sound at a lower volume.
That effect going on. That Variac.
Excuse me.
That.
Yes. But it is just come see it. Come hear it. We lost our sponsor.
Kicker headphones, you guys. We're in the Kicker studio. We're wearing Kicker headphones. Kicker personal audio. The thing is, good isolation, right?
Absolutely.
That's one of the things that surprised me about these. I had an airplane journey, where you ride along inside an airplane.
You get that the whole time.
Yeah.
Not with these.
These were perfect for that situation.
I got to get some then. I fly a lot.
Yeah. They get the job done. You can probably we might be able to like hook you up with the like buddies of Kicker deal.
Why not?
Yeah,
Well, come see
we'll
the
talk.
amp. Come hear the Third Power amp. I'm up on Mountain Springs with Little Bit Country Band every first and third Sunday of the month. Doing some country twang, Waz. You've never heard me play country guitar, have you?
I've heard some splashes.
Yeah. Been having fun doing that for the last several years.
A lot of people don't know we worked together at Downtown Vintage Guitars 8 years ago.
We did. And a lot of people from that time frame are kind of like popping up in my life again.
No.
Aaron Archer,
Yeah.
who's one of the regular jammers down there, plays bass in my country band, Ghost Town Riders.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, tell him I said, hey.
Absolutely.
I hooked up with him a little bit ago over a play, like I was doing sound for a play.
Oh, really?
He sat in, we like looked at the mixer together and stuff.
What a great player, though.
About
The
it,
guy,
yeah.
He plays drums in the Little Bit Country Band with me. Then he plays bass in Ghost Town Riders, which is a different country band.
But the way that you do country, though, has got that old wood flavor.
It does. I'm an old school Jerry Reed, Buck Owens. I'm old school.
I like,
And that bro country, man.
dude, when you get into that like Steve Ray Vaughan Hendrix pocket, though, you go there like maybe like 3 people I've ever met.
And and ironically enough that you bring that up, we played a Stevie Ray Vaughan song a couple nights ago. Yeah. And a guy in the crowd came up and said, that amp nailed the tone. Because most guys, Waz, you've seen this. You go to see a country band or a blues band, and the guitar player is just too dependent on distortion.
Oh, yeah. There's no dynamics then. You can't have things rush into you at all.
With the third power, I can nail that at the edge of breakup clean sound that Stevie Ray Vaughan gets.
Yes, because that's the thing that people don't realize with his tone is it's not that high a gain. It's
not.
There's some variability to his intensity.
He uses the pickup selector, uses his volume knob, his hand attack. I mean, there's a whole different level to it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that he always used his tube screamer either. Just like a popular.
I think he had two.
Sometimes run them one into the other.
Yeah, I think one was always set on just to give it a bump.
Yeah.
No distortion.
Because they don't distort very much.
Yeah, no, they don't. And then the second one was more of a
boost.
A boost over the top to stick out over the band. Yeah, he didn't have a lot of gain.
Yeah, you guys tune nuggets right away. Remember, tell your friends if you want little fun tips for the water cooler, especially if you've got Steve Ray Vaughan water cooler homies. That's that. So this is the Greasy Conversation show on RadioVegas.rocks. If I didn't mention that, I think I was just like, yay, season 4, wee.
Woo!
But
and so far, it's very greasy.
It gets much greasier.
Cool.
In fact, if you can brace yourself, there's some little news things. But honestly, the thing I put first, and I'm gonna get it over with because I won't be able to stop thinking about it, is Kim Kardashian's sinks. Have you seen this action?
No.
So she did something showing off her bathroom, and people noticed that her sinks don't seem to have like a hole where the water goes. But it turns out, let me see if I can fast forward to it. There's going to be like 14 seconds of ad before you see her sinks. Basically, it like curves in a tiny bit. And for people just hearing that aren't seeing the situation, it looks like a handle and a faucet in a sink situation.
Right.
And if you look really close, there's a little slot, but the slot doesn't even line up with where the water goes. And I had to look this up when some other talk show was talking about it. I got to give a little props to Your Mom's House podcast. That's where I heard about the Kim sinks, I think. Unless I'm just like, yeah.
They're great.
For sure. But it like dips down a little bit. Like there's just the smallest little bowl situation. But it seems like you could copy this really easily. You could have a sink that you just kind of, while the dough is still wet, when you're making your countertops.
Right.
And you just imagine you pour concrete for your countertop. I don't think people do this. But you could, right? We're inventing right now.
Why not? Let's try it.
Yeah, let's make a sink, you guys. This is the episode, season 4, episode 1, where you learn how to make a dope Kim Kardashian sink.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's that. Did you know?
Waz, I don't know anything. If it doesn't involve guitars.
Did you know there's like a legit malaria
know
vaccine now?
There's a what?
There's a malaria vaccine that's like the malaria vaccine.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
That nobody will get because they're afraid of it.
I know, that's a thing. So all our kids are going to have malaria now. Because
don't you find it interesting that you can't send Johnny to school with a peanut butter sandwich anymore because other kids may be allergic to the peanut. Not the kid that's eating it, but the other kids in school. So Johnny can't take his peanut butter to school. But you can send an unvaccinated kid to school. How does that work?
Yeah, that brings up one of my biggest frustrations about that. And that's how much it neglects people that can't get vaccines and how much you put them at risk because everyone that can be protected should be so that people that can't aren't surrounded by a bunch of carriers.
But when did this voodoo start that it was bad?
Well, since...
People need to get out of the jungle with the voodoo and get into the modern times.
Yeah. They need to Google things and look at articles that don't already just say what they want to hear.
How about this? Don't take anything that I ever say. Take it with a grain of salt. Go read on it. Go educate yourself.
Yeah.
Because I could sit here and convince you probably that the moon was square. And by the end of the show, I could probably sell you one.
Hashtag square moon.
Yeah.
Hashtag space is fake.
I mean, just because you see it on the face neck or you're Twittering your YouTube and you find some goofy, just do a little research, people. Come on.
Goodness. That hella applies to things on this show, too. If you're just tuning into this show,
You don't
fresh,
believe Waz about the sink. Go look it up.
the whole reason we have seasons and like a season end and premiere and stuff is so people new can have like a point to come in on.
Right.
I think this season is going to be like a hilariously off-putting episode to come in on. So it's more like, hey, if you've been enjoying season 3, here's a little twist of things before we start a season that's probably going to be more like the end of season 3. This isn't like a model of like, this is what the show is like now.
What I want to know is, when do you get your dragons?
Like there's shows that get dragons?
Game of Thrones, man.
Oh, like the dragons weren't there right away?
No. It took a while.
This, I think, is the dragon season.
This is where, you're going to get your dragons. All right.
This is where we get our dragons. Well, I'd like to point out that this is the Hallmark episode where I covered the freaking window, because we had like a whole camera that was pretty much all backlit silhouette vision.
And we have our tasty
Zip Fizz!
Tasty Zip Fizz.
Zip Fizz!
Waz asked me, is there anything that you want to drink? And I said, yes, the blood of my enemies. And he brought me a Zip Fizz.
Yeah. Well, people don't realize that there's a certain percentage of every flavorful powder cylinder that is blood from their enemies. Zip Fizz has a list of enemies.
It's true.
They contribute blood. They give them money for it. It's kind of like a blood donation thing. These are people that aren't such enemies that they don't talk to Zip Fizz. They maintain contact with them. There's some shit talking online just so things stay zesty. And you can taste that in the beverages. There's also an ongoing thing of like dark color versus light color.
Yeah, I'm a dark.
It's like you, my lady Ange Kerfoot, which, okay, another drop. Ange Kerfoot, into the whatever. Look up into the whatever. Well, you love them clappers, right? I think that audience, they might not be alive anymore. That might be like such old claps.
They're walking dead.
We're hearing like zombie claps for that. Yeah, that's them backwards. You remember the backwards claps?
Sounds more like bat wings.
Right? So Into the Whatever is an album that we just put together. So I got to shoot. This is like, we're plug heavy in the beginning.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way. Right?
Yeah. Ange Kerfoot.
And let me say thank you for
she's
inviting
a dark
me.
color too.
Thank you for inviting me to do this, because I very rarely, I don't do these kind of things because I'm not much of a self-promoter or a talker. Waz and I have been friends for years, many, many years. We go back. I think Christ was a corporal when we met, right? Is that true?
Well, I think he was like a sophomore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for inviting me to do it, man.
In those days of the sophomore Christ. That's where we came from.
Well, I whinged when you first asked me to do it. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? And I thought, we'll just sit down and two old buddies have a rambling conversation.
That's the thing. I've got like a grab bag of stuff to lean into and some stuff I want to share with everybody, kind of usually. And the stuff I really want you guys to know about, I pretty much told you in the headlines on the promo graphic. So you could like Google that and have like what the show is really like for as far as like knowledge and stuff, but you don't get the hangout factor.
Well, what's going to happen with this vaccine though? Is it going to be distributed
They're giving
globally?
They're giving it to folks all over Africa. They're tossing it out. They're injecting it in everybody. But there's still some controversy over it because, for one thing, supposedly only like 4 out of 10 people that contract malaria are like prevented with this vaccine. So it's kind of like 40% vaccine. But I mean, it's a start. It's a lot better than a slap in the face for malaria.
Absolutely.
At least according to my tests.
Run with it.
Yeah. I mean, there's been enough malaria people I've slapped to be pretty conclusive on that. But, so malaria handled. And
that's a good response for the malaria. Thank you.
I'm turning the clappers down. I just keep getting surprised by these people that may or may not be dead. Yeah, this whole malaria thing, I was like, hey, let's look at this malaria article. It's just like a picture of a chair.
Can they come up with a vaccine for the crappy Vegas dry singer throat cough allergy thing? Can we have that?
There are plants from all over the whole world that people bring to this town just so they can all breed inside our lungs. Like there's just plants, little bits of them getting inside us and humping and making us all dry and coughy.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because when the wind acts up, tough to sing.
Every time the wind happens here, I've got like breathing treatment time and like Listerine and cough drops.
If you have any secrets, let us know.
Yeah, comment below wherever you're seeing this video.
Yeah, who's got the answer?
Yeah, who's got stuff for the dry wind? I know you're going to be talking about that bees honey. I know you're going to be talking about that bees honey. But I mean, if the bees aren't climbing around all these plants from like the world here, I feel like we're only going to be like getting a touch of the bee situation. We need like really diverse bees to give us the honey pollen.
I'm all about it.
But I know I'm predicting that's going to be one already.
I'm all about it.
Oh, dang. Paul Casey, thanks for hollering to have a great show. That reminds me also, there is an awesome thing happening called Las Vegas Car Stars. Let me show you everything besides that. Here we go. Chat's going on. What up, Sarah? She's digging the new look. The new look's going to change probably every week. We're going to be messing with different camera angles all the time, so don't get too cozy with it. But Paul Casey is hosting something called Las Vegas Car Stars. And if you haven't seen this before, it is cars that travel on the Las Vegas Strip. They close the Strip temporarily for a parade. A parade? Do you say parade or do you say parade? I like to...
Parade.
Yeah, right? That's too many syllables.
You go parade?
Parade.
Boom.
Yeah, parade. No one's ever questioned it.
So as in praying past tense. You prayed.
So there's this instance of prayed car situation of, okay, what I didn't mention why the cars are special. The cars that were in movies, old movie cars that themselves are stars. That's going on.
I want to see the Batmobile.
There's multiple Batmobiles usually.
Give me the old one.
So the old Batmobile was there a few times. You know, different years we have different combinations of the eras of Batmobiles, but there's usually like 2 or 3 different Batmobiles.
Nice.
I'm not sure the Batmobile status this particular year, but there's a parade and there is an event on Fremont, and there are 2 different days. Thursday is when...
Is that Herbie the Love Bug?
Yeah. The Herbie the Love Bug.
No, that's a Beatles car.
Direct decorated for...
Beatles.
Yeah, there's a lot of Beatles regarding Abbey Road in front of the El Cortez. So there's a car show action Thursday, and the parade, it happens at 7 p.m. So May 9th, Thursday, May 9th. Write that action down because
Woz, will you
the
be
strip's
down?
gonna be
Will you be
closing.
down there, baby oiled up and topless?
Yeah, I'll
buzzing
be there
around?
with a video crew. I'm the video dude for this.
Okay.
That's how I got connected to it.
But will you be topless with baby oil on?
I will be, but I won't be on camera that way.
No.
So you'll have to just trust when you're seeing this footage that the person holding the camera is very oily and nude.
Well, just your torso.
When you see any
You'll
of
have proper
the
trousers
torso,
on.
yeah, proper trowel.
Okay.
Yeah, plaid.
Excellent.
So
You don't want your bullwinkle flopping around.
I'm hoping that you picture both my bullwinkle and my greasy torso behind the camera when you see the YouTube footage of this. All the YouTube videos of these crazy events the last 3-4 years have been
That sprung up a memory, Ross.
my edits. Oh, is it one of the open mic memories? Is it? Okay, which one? Which particular open mic memory? Because I put you through hell. I put you through some awful open mic things.
It was a place then called the Cheyenne Saloon.
Oh, no.
And the Cheyenne Saloon was way out on Rancho.
Yeah, this one wasn't my fault. I know which one you're talking about.
For some reason or another, Woz decided to perform in his underpants.
Okay, this wasn't the one I was thinking.
And Tony, the sound guy, proceeded to unleash the fire extinguisher on you during your performance.
I was in boxers in this one?
Yeah,
I didn't know this was one of the boxer
you stripped
ones.
down to your boxers. You were. I think you were in the middle of Dance Dance Revolution, having a time. And for some reason, it was like the Gong Show.
He
came up.
Shut down the show.
Well, yeah, that fire extinguisher stuff filled the entire room.
Yes.
Covered everybody's gear with that white pasty dust. But it created a memory, Woz.
It was kind of tasted like artificial sweetener, right?
It was bizarre.
If you haven't tasted fire extinguisher dust,
You have not lived.
you've got to tell your friends about this particular show, about the Greasy Conversation podcast, because there's people around you that haven't tasted fire extinguisher dust.
Well, my challenge is if there's any acoustic open mic nights for a performer to go and top Waz. Do it in your underpants. And see if you can get hit with the fire extinguisher.
Underpants challenge.
The underpants challenge.
Underpants. You watch out for that fly hole. I'll tell you what. That hole for the fly. That sneaks up on you. But, okay. There's more to this Car Stars thing. There's the party going on at Fremont on Friday, too. So just go to LasVegasCarStars.com or just look up Las Vegas Car Stars in Google. You'll be taken all the way there. And do yourself a favor, because that's coming up soon. And it's a piece of Las Vegas culture that you don't want to miss out on.
You said May 9th is the parade.
That's the parade.
And how long does the event run?
The event on Fremont's like a 45-minute little thing. But the cars are there for several hours over those 3 days for people to come and enjoy it anytime, take pictures with them, take pictures with cars that were in movies. I'm talking, I can't guarantee which ones will be at this particular event, but we've had all the Batmobiles. We had 11 Back to the Future cars once, DeLoreans.
Wow.
Those was the DeLorean year. That was the anniversary of Back to the Future. We've had Smokey and the Bandit car, that red one from Starsky and Hooch or whatever, Turner and Hooch, Starsky.
I like it. Can we make trouble? I like to, how I like to make trouble.
Like troubles in like higher frequencies or?
No. I'm gonna authorize. Can we go to a shot of this?
Yeah. He's got his hand on the Tabor. Tabor headphones by Kicker.
Your
Personal
show
Auto.
will give away one set of these to anybody who steals one of the cars from the show and brings it here to the station. Can we do that?
Yeah, I don't care if you had to like talk to the owner to pull that off. You've got to schedule it to where I get a camera to that though. Otherwise, you're just like causing trouble.
Imagine you go out one day and then you get the Starsky and Hutch car parked out front. Everybody's wanting their headphones.
No,
I think this is a good contest.
I'll get a text from Jay one day.
Shut that idiot up. I just like to make trouble.
I'd like to say that nothing on this show is guaranteed. Disclaimer. Remember how we said to fact check your news? Yeah, double check that.
Right, that's part of it, right?
Yeah. You don't have to fact check our like other promotions, like 10% off at Naked City Pizza if you mention RadioVegas.rocks. RadioVegas.rocks, who you mention, or the Brothers Pizza. You've got two different pizza options, but it's the one on South Rainbow, Brothers Pizza.
Never been. I'll have to try it out.
Yeah, they're a new family to the fold, and they've been very good to us. They've been keeping Jay hella fed.
Nice.
Yeah, someone's got to feed that poor man.
He's turned us on to a couple of cool restaurants over the years. So
go
check these guys out.
Pinche's Tacos is another one. If you mention RadioVegas.rocks at Pinche's Tacos, and
Where's
you buy
that at?
So there's one on in the Gramercy building that's on Russell in the 215.
Okay.
But there's a few of them. But that one particularly, you order yourself a blood orange margarita and you can get a free Gringo Loco taco. It's got like this shreddy meat in it. This chicken.
That's for shreddy meat right there. Come on.
Okay. Next time you feel like clap time, get one of these guys. They emphasize things too. I'm going to let the guest push the buttons.
I like to have the buttons.
No, get adventurous though. Like check this one out. This is the Submarine of Knowledge. About season 3, I got kind of abusive on the Submarine of Knowledge. We're in the Submarine of Knowledge a few times.
That is quite impressive.
But we do that. We learn. There's some buildy uppies. Like here we got, I'm acting like I remember where these are. Check this out. There is a phone. Did you know this phone folds in half? But like the screen folds too. Are you familiar with the Foldy phone, the Samsung Foldy Joe?
Yeah.
So old Foldy Joe by Samsung. Have you heard about the controversy from the review units of this thing?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
And I'm actually looking for a new phone. I've got this. I'm on an iPhone 6 Plus, and it sucks. It's so old. It
not even the
work.
6S. I have the same fella, but the S.
It blows.
Well, this might be your next option if you're willing to put up with
the Foldy phone.
Yeah. Now, the folding time itself is great. You see, you get basically like a tablet. You don't see the seam very much.
That's a phone.
That's a phone, and see, it folds. And
Interesting.
there's a little screen on there. But in order to fold, it's not glass. It's like bendy plastics and like metals. And there's a layer that when you get this phone, you peel off like that normal protector like you get all the time. But then there's another one that you don't peel off. And a high percentage of the people that got review units for this phone, they peeled that one off too.
Oh boy.
And the moment you start to peel the edge of it, a lot of their screens broke like then. They started getting lines and stuff. Some people had them last like a day and then flickery, breaky.
People, read the instructions. They're there for a reason.
Unfortunately,
Don't be shy with the instructions.
they weren't there on the review units. So Samsung wasn't super clear on this final layer that you're not supposed to remove. And nor did it have like any pull tab or anything. It just looked like, oh, there's another thing. Nah.
You know what's weird is I leave the film on all my stuff.
Yeah.
Like I have two separate pieces of gear from Fractal.
What are they?
The Fractal Axifex. I've had that for
Is that like a guitar multi-effect?
Yeah, it's a modeler and signal processor and multi-effects unit, but I always leave the little film on the window. Is that weird?
Well, whenever,
Is that wrong?
Whenever it's a screen, I do the same thing because
I don't, put fingerprints on it. And
I want to protect screens, but whenever it's...
what if I go to resell it? And I go,
Yeah.
it still has the film on the window. People
no
go,
scratches
wow.
on the screen.
Right.
Totally. Have you seen, speaking of effects, there's not that much more to talk about the Foldy phone other than Samsung's going to wait a minute on that.
They're going to pump the brakes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Have you seen Korg's new tubes? This is like not new. Really? Okay. This is something that tripped me out a little bit ago, and we'll revisit it real quick for you guys that probably didn't catch it. I talked about these a second ago last season, but it was like way earlier in last season. What Korg did, and what you're looking at here, is like a vacuum fluorescent display that you would see on like a VCR or like, Chevy cars up until a few years ago, the tachometer would be like blue and the radio, some Ford radios too, or like old clock radios when it was like this kind of seafoam colored blue. And you look really close at it and there's like a grid, like a screen over there. And it's actually a kind of a vacuum tube display. It just stayed popular.
Interesting.
It's called a vacuum fluorescent display. And those are still used in some products, but Korg had the idea of sending sound through them. So they worked with a vacuum fluorescent screen manufacturer, and
seems like a Woz thing.
Yeah, right. Like, let's put sound through it. And that's it. So there's all these products. You can get a development kit. This is high voltage, just like a vacuum tube, but its characteristics aren't exactly like a vacuum tube. So there's a development kit. There's pedals. There's all kinds of like infrastructure for this thing. It's really cool looking, and it's got its own kind of sound. There's microphonics, just like a tube. Like you can tap on it and hear like jingliness. If you're not familiar with how a tube works, okay, just briefly, little science moment.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you've got a heater and science moment.
There you go.
That was perfect for that. Well done.
Brought to you by Kicker.
Yeah, the Kicker science moment. So in a tube, you have three parts. British people call a tube a valve.
Okay,
and because of that, it's basically a valve for electricity, as are transistors. So you have a place for the electricity to go and a place the electricity comes from, and a screen in between. And
okay, you say a screen in between.
A grid. That screen in between is called a grid on a tube.
Gotcha.
So in a tube, the heater is where electrons can leave from, and they can go to this part called the plate. But there's this screen in the way. There's this grid in the way. And if the grid has one electrical potential, the electrons flow to the plate. If it has the other, they don't. And anywhere between. The grid's basically like your handle on the valve.
Gotcha.
So you have little tubes stacked along. You know this already, though.
Actually,
so I appreciate the gotcha.
No, I don't, man. I am completely. I'm gonna be
learning.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you, Woz. I can barely string a guitar. Seriously.
It makes me wonder, like, how early did you get crazy good at guitar that people just do this stuff where they give you guitars, they give you amps?
I was 7 years old when I woke up one day and could play. But because I didn't have a teacher or I didn't go to school for it, I'm completely ignorant to how a guitar works. I mean, even the process of swapping out pickups and tone pots and I'm baffled by all of it. It's all sorcery to me.
But see, all this I didn't get from like learning or any kind of formal education of it. It was all poverty.
Now check this out.
Ooh, check out moment.
This is for the folks that don't know at home. Woz is a genius.
Oh, well, you know, with electrical things, there's a touch of handiness.
No, let's not be modest. I know Woz turned a calculator into a beatbox.
Oh, yeah. You can see that on the Greasy Conversation YouTube or on the Instagram. There's some instances of this a graphics calculator being used for
he would
a couple of drum
my
samples.
Jam nights with an old Atari joystick and make sounds with it. He's a genius. Don't let him kid you.
Yeah, the Atari Punk console. Right now, that's in possession of Montana Joe. If you want to look up Montana Jose or Montana Joe in LA, he's got a hold of that. He's using it. And there's like an upcoming collaboration that I'm not allowed to talk about with Reggie Watts. There's stuff he's doing. He's been talking with some other people.
One of these
that
days,
I'm like legit not supposed to talk about. But he's got my joystick.
One of these days on your show, you've got to let everybody know about these crazy gizmos that you make, man.
Okay, my Instagram.
They're awesome.
Look up Woz supposedly on Instagram, and I'm trickling them out. There's these little Instagram moments where it's either a photo show or like a video that I edited to be snappy where I go through. In fact, I'd say the best one. Oh, also greasyconversation.com. You can go to these. There's a DIY section. So more fun facts to enjoy. There's a fresh one that you might not have seen. That's a Timex Sinclair synthesizer.
I have not seen that.
So Timex Sinclair, it's a little tiny computer back in the day that was just worthless for everything. But I used its keypad to control an Arduino that's doing just raw square wave oscillations into a karaoke reverb. The little board that's supposed to be for a karaoke machine gives it some reverb. But the programming in the Arduino that I figured out lets it do arpeggiations and like a rudimentary flange kind of thing and some Atari-like sound effects. The arpeggiations, though, are the sickest. I also made one in another old calculator. That's on Instagram, too. So, yeah, fun.
It was always interesting to have Woz show up at the jam night. And, you know, every now and again he had this new instrument that he would unleash. And it made it super fun, man.
The funnest... God, it's cringy to talk about it right now, but there's this... And I still have it. It's going to be in some streams and some stuff soon. But I took this flanger and modded it to feed back on itself extra. And then there's this big clunky knob that would go to different values. So it basically just go... with no like pitch or anything. It was just a really unique...
just a random...
Like a... Yeah. But with more like... very accurately like that sound, which impressed me. It's like a person making a cat sound. So I would just stomp on it every fourth measure, fourth beat would be emphasized by this.
Nice.
Just wrote it into the song. To this day, I don't know what song I wrote into or how it possibly could have had any meaningful musical value in that moment. It's just weird shit for sake of...
Everybody go check that stuff out, man. Yeah. This guy's a genius.
There's like musical things now you can
Which
check
do you
out.
prefer? A genius? Because I referred to people as a genius.
And I'll take it.
Or a mad scientist.
That's much more accurate, though.
Because when you used to have remember when you had the big hair, you were very mad scientisty.
Yeah, and some of it's still tucked under here. I've just got...
it's there still. But you used to have big hair.
I got lesbian hair right now for better or for worse.
Going with the Rachel Maddow look?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Fair enough. You guys.
So we're checking out the Korg. I'm definitely going to look into that.
And
now, how would I use that with my guitar setup?
you just stick it in there. See? No, for people that aren't looking, it's a chip. You're not going to do much with it.
No.
But there's a development kit if you want to design your own pedal, because I'm sure that's up your alley. But there's also things by...
You promised that we would not talk about my alley on the show. You promised me.
It's true. I did a alley oopsie. Alley oopsie. Whoa, that was accidental. So check it out. This is a little buddy we were talking about, tube screamer.
So that's employing the new tube technology.
Yeah, this is a tube screamer with a Korg new tube in it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How much is that going for?
It's going for, let's learn together.
That looks like a newer tube screamer, though. It's not the traditional green.
No, gotta be new to have that new tube situation. 249 of the dollars of the United States.
I'm going to pass.
I know.
I'm going to pass.
The development.
But I would be
kit,
interested. I would be interested in
Let's
hearing
make
it.
one. Let's just make our own.
Why don't we?
Just like a tube screamer with a new tube signal path in it. Psh, psh, look out, you guys. New product from Greasy Conversation.
You know what I could actually use, Waz? I don't know if this is something that you could do. Is to clone a clon.
Clon?
Clon is a pedal. It's a very transparent overdrive. A boost, not an overdrive. They go for $2,000 now.
Oh, it's just a transparent?
It's one of the most sought after pedals, though. They sound amazing.
But if it's transparent, how does it sound amazing? This is like what
it does.
Breaks my head.
I know, me too. Like, and when I played through one, I was like, oh, I gotta have
You know what sounds more transparent than anything? A cable. Just a cable. Nothing fucks with that.
Here's what's crazy, man. I did a test at NAMM, and the crappiest, cheapest guitar cable, like when you buy a shit guitar, Guitar Center, it comes with an Allen wrench and a cable.
Yeah, molded ends.
They're not that different than a $100 cable.
You're far from the first person I've had like grudgingly reveal this to me.
They put it on a computer and they were following all the little movement, and they're not that different. And as a matter of fact,
durability is a thing, but durability aside, I'm talking sound quality. The sound just goes through that shit.
Some cats preferred the shit cable.
No, they like chose it.
They chose it without, just by playing through it and hearing it. They were like, ooh, I like that second cable the best. Seriously.
Well, it means that if it did have any flaws or degradation, sometimes those kind of warm up the sound, particularly if you're familiar with even order harmonics. It's like second, fourth, sixth, eighth harmonic. When those are emphasized, you get treble detail that your ears are able to hear. You're able to hallucinate clarity in the bass based on the harmonics of the bass.
Did everybody just tune out now that we're geeking out on it? Can we tell? No. Are we boring the people?
Well, let me check the gauge.
Because I could talk gear all day long with you, man.
No, we're gonna ride the edge of it. We're gonna tickle the side.
Like prom night.
Okay. But we have to take a little commercial break, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll pause for the cause.
Pause for the cause, pay a couple bills. Remember, these people, you make sure you tell them that you heard about this regarding RadioVegas.rocks.
Hey realtors, are you looking for a new or unique way to sell a house or property? Bouncing Tiger Studios comes from creator Blaine. Tiger Studios comes from creator Blaine Childers. How about an idea that you have for a new car or travel commercial? Maybe you're working on a movie that just needs some amazing aerial shots. With Bouncing Tiger Studios, you can get those breathtaking aerials along with some elegant edits with superb direction for that movie, commercial, or real estate property that you're trying to sell. If you can imagine it, they can elevate your production. Shot in 4K. Bouncing Tiger Studios lets you create with limitless possibilities. Bouncing Tiger Studios, they're just getting started. For more information, visit them online at bouncingtigerstudios.co or visit them on Facebook.
Yeah. Bounce that tiger. Bounce him. That's right.
Hey Mario, thanks for hanging out.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. Who are we waiting on again?
Dan.
Oh, really? So we can hear him talk about getting naked again?
Guys, you wouldn't believe the amazing weekend I had this weekend.
You got naked.
Yeah, I went out on this date with this chick. All of a sudden, we went to the movies, and then all of a sudden, guess what?
You got naked.
Yeah, and then the next day, look at the French braid in my hair. I went to my niece's birthday party, and guess what happened after that?
You got naked?
Yeah, and then oddly enough, the next day I was playing bridge with my mom and her friends, and then right after that, guess what happened?
You got naked.
Yeah, hey, how did you guys know this? You know what, tell you the truth, I'm actually kind of feeling hungry right now. What do you guys say we get naked?
Why do you want to get naked to eat?
Again.
Oh, that's so weird.
Who said anything about getting naked? I want to get pizza.
Visit nakedcitylv.com for the location nearest you.
Please wear pants.
No shirt, though.
Yeah, well, see, That's the thing, is the pants is the bigger issue. There's
It's-
plenty of people that look great without a shirt, but pants there's like sanitary.
What about Winnie the Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh, there's metaphoric pants made of his own fur. If you can grow enough fur to just like look like pants,
To buzz around with no trousers?
handled. Here's the thing. I feel like that's the takeaway for this episode is like just really grow things seriously and you can get away with the no pants.
All right.
That's like a real answer. That's a real way to go about life. I think you've got there.
You could take that to the bank. You don't need to Google that, right?
You can
trust
get
that.
kicked right out of the taking that to the bank. Kicked right out of the bank.
Oh, my.
Okay. We've got that's right. It's time for the Greasy Conversation talk show. Whoa, the intensity stops and I'm still talking that way. Anyway, RadioVegas.rocks makes it happen. We're about to show you cute things. Cute thing alert. Get ready. In this instance of cute ass tech, we've got the Kiwi robot. Do you know what the Kiwi robot does?
I do not.
Yeah, we're reacting to things. This is the funnest part, is like getting to show you what I'm excited about right now. And I'm excited about this little doodle because he brings you food. It's a delivery
Really?
robot, yeah. You can see his eyes are closed right now. He's like, he closed his eyes for the photo. Why'd they use this photo?
Uh-oh.
You're not supposed to use eyes closed photos. So anyway, this little fella.
Now, when you say it
delivers
brings you food from a restaurant,
That's correct. This is not showing you anything useful.
do you
as
trust
we've been
robots?
talking.
Let me ask you that.
What do you think it's going to spit in your food?
Do you trust robots?
I trust robots by default. Robots. There's a default trust, but it's not like universal.
I mean, if it's going to bring the food on time and the food's hot.
Yeah. I mean, it can
it's
probably
not-
like keep the food hot.
How many times have you ordered pizza and you tell them, I want the crushed red pepper in there, right?
Like in there?
The packets.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want a little Parmesan. Then the guy shows up and he goes, oops.
Well, if you were like
Shouldn't that guy have that in his vehicle
Like,
at all time?
that you're running into another issue here.
Oops.
Sometimes the drivers that have the packets in their vehicle or in their pockets, the packets aren't in the cleanest situation.
Put him in a Ziploc, man. Have some consideration. But
All right.
to have the guy say,
Keeping them in the
"Oops,"
Ziploc, okay, you got a moment there. You got an idea there. But let's say you get some like mystery packets. They're not, the white part of the packet isn't white anymore. The dust inside comes out in like chips instead of like
pitch that out.
Yeah, yeah.
Pitch that.
This little fella is going to keep that stuff nice. This random chunk of text I'm showing you instead of this picture of the robot. That's going to keep. Look at. He's got to have like a little between his wheels, a little crotch pocket to store that stuff.
So where's the beta market for this thing? Is it still in beta phase or?
Yeah, they're doing it at UC Berkeley. If you're a student at UC Berkeley, this little Kiwi fella is probably already familiar to you. I like that it has like off-road tires. It looks like an RC car. It's doing wicked jumps, taking you your food.
I'm trying to picture this. So that will leave the. Let's just say
little
we
guy.
order tacos.
Yeah.
They pack the tacos up into the guy there.
Smash him into the top right there.
They send him off. Out the door he goes. Right.
Yeah.
Say 20, 30 minutes later, he comes buzzing up to the door.
Buzzing up.
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Probably like an hour and a half later, but something like that.
A food delivery robot.
Delivering that food, being
Let's
a
try it.
robot. The thing is, this is not the only cute thing I have. I have a straight up segment right now of cute stuff. This. What do you think of this fella? This homeboy.
They probably have an ointment for it at CVS. I think. That comes with a little comb.
Ah.
No.
I mean, maybe that ointment would work if you traveled back in the day when this thing roamed.
No, so that's a sea creature.
It's a sea creature.
It's not a robot.
It's like a multi-crab. So people that can't see this, basically I'll describe it for you excellently too. It's basically all eyes, two big like Disney style cartoon eyes, and then like just pinchers all around. It's like just eyes and grabby pinchies.
Kind of looks like something from a Star Wars flick.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the cutest thing that I can imagine being covered in so many pinching parts. Because other things I've seen that are equally pinchy were never as cute.
Yeah, like a regular crab, they have this
Yeah.
weird kind of antenna eyes.
I can barely tell where the eye situation is.
But at least you know this guy's looking at you.
Nah, it's for sure. And
But how do you tell if he's upset?
the pinchings.
Well, he looks nice though.
Yeah, but I mean, he'll pinch you if he's upset. He'll get to you.
I'm not going to get that close to him.
He'll find
I'm gonna
his way to
gauge
you.
his. I'm going to gauge his reaction to me before I approach him.
If you think you can fight him off, if you think you can keep that fellow away from you,
Now, from the picture, we can't tell how large
big
of a
is
beast
it? Yeah, I thought
is
that'd
that.
be an upcoming question.
Is it a crotch
Let's get
cricket
into that.
size, or is it?
We've got
a,
someone holding a specimen
it's
there.
very,
It's just
very
that little fella. Yeah.
unthreatening. No.
But it's bigger than a crotch cricket.
Absolutely. If you woke up after prom night with that guy hanging around your bullwinkle, you'd be in trouble.
That's what I called my motorcycle, the crotch cricket. Silent but deadly.
My friend in Los Angeles had a punk. I helped him put this together. It was a punk mariachi band.
That sounds excellent.
They dressed like mariachis, but played all punk rock music, Black Flag, like mariachis would do it. And they were called Gallo and the Crotch Crickets.
Nice. Man, shout out to Latino Batman, though, which
And
is not that, but it reminds me of that.
It didn't catch on, and then then several years ago we got metal machi. What's it called?
Oh, Metal Machi, Metal Hibachi.
It's kind of the same thing, but these guys were way ahead of their time.
Have you heard Latino Batman?
I have not.
It's a real band, and they're great.
Latino Batman.
Yeah, it's simple as that.
La música, la school in the gang.
Cool in the Gang? Whoa, those are the creepy crawlies. That sound is what this animal makes.
He is interesting.
Yeah, that's our cute stuff segment, you guys. Cute fossils. Hey, next time you're talking to someone that appreciates cute things, you can talk about this multi-crab. We have an idea what the typical crab looks like, and these new fossils break all those rules. Look, you can't find it under multi-crab. Just look up chimera crab fossil.
The chimera crab fossil. I challenge you at some point during season 4 to do a segment on the Rhamphorhynchus.
What's that?
It's kind of a pterodactyl-y kind of guy.
Really? Let's
Yeah,
look.
the
Let's look at it.
Rhamphorhynchus.
How do you? Is it 2 words like Rhamphorhynchus?
It's just one word.
Fur-incus? Let's see if Google's got. Oh, did you mean this fella?
There he is.
We're going there now. We're going to Rhamphorhynchus. This guy's that's the OG pterodactyl, isn't
I'm
it?
saying, man.
That's like Pterodactyl Jones here.
Yeah. I'm gonna do an all instrumental guitar album, and the title is gonna be Rhamphorhynchus.
That would be.
Because nobody knows what he is. So you say pterodactyl, people go, "Oh yeah, I know what he is."
Yeah, but you see this particular one. Oh man, especially. Let me show you guys this particular. You can't tell which one I'm gesturing at. This one in the middle here. This guy with the missile under his arm.
Yeah, you don't want to dick around with that guy.
Yeah.
If he's buzzing the hood of your car, you're in trouble.
Oh man, bring it back. Hey, have you heard about CRISPR? I'm not saying that like this is 100% turning into a science show, but like at least like more than half, because I've got the most exciting, like I dare say the most exciting scientific thing within 10 years. More exciting than the discovery of the Higgs boson.
Okay.
More exciting than the Samsung folding phone is CRISPR. What CRISPR is an E. coli bacteria fella that it's in the family. It's not like ordinary get you barfing E. coli.
Okay.
But this guy will go and find a string of DNA and replace it with another string. So it's like
Really?
copy and paste for DNA. So they get these carrier bacterias, they program them, they load them up with their little backpacks for school, and they tell them what to sniff out. They let them smell the underwear of the DNA that they're going to find. They find that, they track down that scent, they open up their little book bags and they swap it out. So you can say, find this string of code that makes your baby stupid shaped, and the CRISPR will go in there, go into your baby, and change that string to a string of data from a non-stupid shaped baby. And you've like cured stupid shapeism.
All right. So rewind 20 minutes ago. Can we get the CRISPR to fix the Vegas singer cough, dry throat, allergy. Can we make that work?
Yeah, well, CRISPR, because there's people that live
And
in this
it'll
town.
also do a clone pedal all at once.
Bacteria pedal.
Right.
Okay.
It'll go in and clone itself. I could throw any pedal down and go clone, and then now it's a clone.
I feel like we've got two separate products here that are both valuable.
Yeah.
So we've got this technology cloner. You like smear this cream on your laptop and you're like, learn.
There you go.
And then you come back the next day and there's this like melty, limp laptop there. You come back in another week after you splash water on it. You have to keep spraying water on it, right?
It's like a mogwai.
Yeah. You might have to like sprinkle some dust on it like you do with sea monkeys, like the sea monkey food. Did you know the sea monkey food is the sea monkeys? Get this. They send you like just boring ass water that's just purified and say the sea monkeys are in there, and you pour the packet in and it feeds them and they spontaneously sea monkey up. The packet has the dried sea monkeys in it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they lie to you in the sea monkey time. Okay, that's the science overloads going on right
I
now.
like it.
Right?
I enjoy it. Yes.
Okay, so maybe this is a preview of what the show is becoming in this episode, but there's
not?
going to be a little bit more of Greg's baloney going on in the next episodes. It's a shame you have to come back with our co-host too.
Sure.
Shout out to him. We wouldn't have any of these news articles except maybe 2 or 3 of them if it weren't for Greg. And also Ange Kerfoot is also a constant source of juicy news for the show.
And for
Shout
them?
outs. That's right. Appropriate.
Absolutely.
Good use of the clappings. All right, let's look at one more fun thing.
So there's your Ramphoricus. He's your new buddy, right?
Ramphoricus is my boy.
Okay. Here's the other challenge.
Okay.
Anybody gets a tattoo of a Ramphoricus
Yeah!
comes down to the show, we'll get some kickers. Can we do that?
Oh man, no, I totally can't do that.
How about the empty box?
I don't know what kind of sponsorship you think we have, but
I don't know. I think this is a highbrow show, man.
okay. Real talk though, I did get free headphones. Kicker is awesome and did hook us up, and like I'm one of the few, but like most people didn't get free headphones.
I say we get their promo department on the phone though. Do a crazy contest, man.
Yeah, that's you know what. Oh no, I can't talk about. You got me all excited.
I mean, if anybody had the sack to go get a tattoo of a Ramphoricus on their person, they deserve some headphones from Kicker.
Especially, well, here's the thing. If you get
How
a
about
tattoo of a Ramphoricus and it's
wearing the headphones.
Yes,
Yes, there
yeah.
we go.
If it's wearing Kicker headphones and you can see the K of the Kicker logo, I will buy you a pair.
Let's
Yes.
get them on the phone. Let's
Yeah.
get Kicker on. This is great.
Kicker will play with that, I guarantee. Yeah, but we have some crazy promotions going on with this station yet that I can't even like talk about yet. But one of them has to do with like a big classic rock band that we're going to be giving away tickets that are like go up and like lick their sweat closeness to this band.
You'd be close enough to scare the band.
Close enough that you could affect the performance negatively.
Wow.
That level of trust.
Interesting. Stay tuned then. Right? Coming soon.
Stay tuned to RadioVegas.rocks for that. Also, it's a good time to mention to stay tuned after this show for a little show called Two Clueless Dudes. You'll be able to see that on, if you're already tuned into RadioVegas.rocks, that's a website. Pop that in your browser. But also, you can look at these fellas if you check out the tasty, brand new YouTube channel and also even younger Twitch channel for RadioVegas.rocks. Just the catch is you got to type in RadioVegas.rocks as one word for YouTube to know what's up with you right now. So RadioVegas.rocks as one word. So that's epic, right?
Nice reverb, man.
Yeah, I chose it. So I think we're done with adorableness after one more fella. This is my adorable moment conclusion. Get ready. I'm so excited to show you this fella because I think people have a missed opportunity in the description of it. This is it.
Wow.
I call it a rat-faced lion.
My neighbor has one of those.
Like a rat lion? Are you sure it's not just a regular rat that he's just neglected until it's become lion-sized?
That guy right there looks very, very unpleased. He is surly.
Ooh, this one, it's like they drew this picture of one that's like got a hernia or something. Doesn't he look like he's passing a kidney stone?
Yeah, he's not in the best state right there.
So that's the sound they make.
I would not attempt to scratch him behind the ear.
This thing is the size of a polar bear.
Oh yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's like Volkswagen size, like modern Volkswagen size.
And what's his name?
This is Jeff. This is
Jeff. Okay.
I'm gonna highlight the name for the visual people. You can look at that, but if you want to look this up and you're listening, just look up giant lion fossils discovered in a museum drawer. Part of the excitement of this is the fact that these fossils had already been discovered, and they were just chilling in a museum drawer.
Why?
Because of neglect and people not having the science to know it's a giant rat lion. So now we opened the drawer and we took a look. We're like, clearly this is a rat-faced lion that roamed Africa gobbling up baby kids.
Man, you want to stay out of his road.
Yeah.
You know what I find bizarre? I was doing research for something I was writing. And you know how you'll click on one thing? You're looking for subject A.
Yeah, you go down
and
the
you'll
hole.
find 2 or 3 things, and the next thing you know, it's the sun's coming up, and you're off on a tangent. That there were actually, this is a science moment for you. We're going to give you
Yeah, a little science thingy. Whoa, that's a complicated one. Yeah,
giants were real. We really had giants living.
we had giant folks.
and there is fossil evidence of them that has been hidden away.
Where were the giant people?
Research the Lovelock giants here in Nevada.
In Nevada.
In Nevada.
Dang.
There was a tribe of giants that lived, and the Native Americans got fed up with them and killed them.
Okay, so how high is giant on this level?
7 to 10 feet tall.
Dang.
Big dudes, like a bunch of shacks running around, but they were pissed off.
Did they have 2 eyes, or were
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
Cyclops
2 eyes, 2
situation? Okay.
But there were actual fossils that we had, and then the Smithsonian came in, took them away, just like this fella.
No way.
So at some juncture, somebody's going to be fiddling through a drawer one day looking for a Post-it note.
Oh, here's those giants we neglected.
There's some whiteout, and then boom.
Surprise giants.
We will have a giant.
Yes.
I
Perfect.
got my own reverb,
Yes.
man.
See, this is why I sat the guest here, folks. This is part of the change and growth.
But now go ahead and look it up. This is
perpetual
not
improvement.
science fiction hooey.
we
This
should,
is-
so
this is,
I get to believe in.
if
The
anybody
Lovelock.
wants- The Lovelock giants.
Lovelock giants.
The Native Americans forced them into a cave and burned them out.
Lovelock giants. You get a theme song till I get your pictures up. Whoa. Dang. These are just a bunch of skulls. I'm not surprised. This is a lot of forehead, brow time. Look at smile now, cry later, guy. What's this? They had smile now, cry later masks. They're like old vatos.
Just some more science stuff for you. I know
What
you
is
like your
this
science.
like clump of fur? This looks like
I think
a.
that's a shoe or something. Is that a
Oh
shoe?
man.
Could be a shoe or a satchel. Maybe it was his merce.
So this looks like
Maybe the giant had a man purse.
some kind of mammal was killed, and then you just put your foot in it, and it's a shoe now.
See, the giants of Lovelock, man. I'm telling you. It's interesting reading.
Ooh, is this a lady one?
a lady,
Nice.
yeah.
Check this out, you guys. Lady giant. Check her out. Check it out. Yeah. Doesn't that look like a? This picture reminds me, like it was drawn from those like heavy metal.
Yes.
What's Frank Frazetta?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like Frank Frazetta giants.
Yeah, you would see those on the side of a van in the 70s, right? With a
Yeah.
gargoyle and. You ever
Yeah,
heard,
she
you
looks
ever-
all right. I'd hit it.
Have you ever heard of the band Wizard Sleeve?
Wizard sleeve? No. That's great. Well, they're known for their sleeves. I think people forget that about wizards. That's like one of the most neglected
Right.
attributes of them.
Great unheard of band from the 70s. Go dig up Wizard Sleeve.
Media recommendation.
Yeah, head down to Zia and ask for your copy of. They're hard to find, but great prog, hard rock kind of.
Yeah, Prague.
I think you would be into Wizard Sleeve.
I like the Progs.
Yeah.
Is this guy in wizard sleeve with his forehead? This looks like someone just drew a bad picture. Like it's just a normal dude. Like this guy's from New Jersey, just got that extra forehead. Just a bad haircut. So there's these ancient people with
I
bad
actually
haircuts.
see people at one of the local rock clubs that kind of look like that guy,
Yeah.
hanging onto the hair.
Oh man, hanging it on. Okay, now
Now, what are we doing next, Was? Talk to me.
next it's commercial chug at time.
Let's do it.
Commercial chuggies, get ready.
Be sure to get your mix of music. Listen to us with the RadioVegas.rocks app available at the App Store. And check out our VIP card, interact with us in our chat room, and scheduling of our RadioVegas.rocks shows, plus podcasts. It's all available on RadioVegas.rocks app.
All right, listen up, RadioVegas.rocks listeners. I want to tell you about Brothers Pizza. Brothers Pizza is located at 7575 South Rainbow. They are awesome. They're the home of the 30-inch pizza. That's right, 30 inches. You've got to see this thing. It's enormous. Every Tuesday is wing night. You get 50-cent wings every Tuesday at Brothers Pizza. 7575 South Rainbow. They've got all kinds of great deals like the 16-inch one-topping pickup special for $7.99. What I like about them is they're open late. Sunday through Thursday, they're open till 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday, open till 3 a.m. You gotta love that about a pizza place here in Las Vegas. And they do deliveries as well. They are in a fantastic place. You gotta go visit them. 7575 South Rainbow. Let them know you heard about it on RadioVegas.rocks. They are fantastic. Go there, check them out now. Maybe I'll meet you there.
3 a.m.?
My goodness.
3 a.m. You can have pizza up until 3 a.m. with Brothers Pizza.
Musician's delight, man.
Heck yes. Remember, South Rainbow. There's 2 locations. You go to that South Rainbow location, and they're ready.
And it's not one of them turdy cardboard pizzas that you get at one of these junk joints, right?
Nah, it's got the squish. You want that pizza with the squish.
Pizza. It's like being in New York. Pizza at 3 a.m.
Yeah. But it's like thicker than that New York situation.
Hey.
Okay, one more. This one's close to my heart. Get ready. This is our buddies at HempWorks.
Hey, have you guys ever heard about HempWorks? I have. It's the highest quality hemp-derived CBD oil you can get. They have 11 incredible hemp-derived CBD products in the HempWorks brand. The products consist of 6 tinctures, 3 topicals, and 2 pet products, which all utilize CO2 extracted hemp oil grown in Kentucky. That's the good stuff. There's a 60-day money-back guarantee, so it's totally risk-free. If you don't like it, money-back guaranteed. Contact Heather B. Centers on Facebook or happyhealthyfamily5@gmail.com and get your HempWorks CBD oil today.
Okay, this is a fun fact. We were talking about how steady as she goes. How the Raconteurs was behind the HempWorks commercial.
Kind of a sludgy version.
Yeah, like a sludge, what do you call it when you like love something? It's a
homage.
It's like an homage, yeah. Like a Raconteurs homage. So we're fully licensed at RadioVegas.rocks, like ASCAP, BMI, CSAC to like play music. But my show is like rebellious of that. Just because the video streaming places like Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, the moment like something copyrighted pops up on those streams, they cut that out. They're like, we don't know how to deal with this, even though they can't check our licenses yet.
Right.
There's not like a situation for that. That's why when you listen to the next show, if you're looking at the video feed, you won't hear audio from it, but you'll get the audio at RadioVegas.rocks. But the other fun thing about that is if you listen to RadioVegas.rocks on the reg, you will hear some of the raddest music you probably won't hear anywhere else, because it's difficult for places to play music kind of off of the mainstream without these licensing issues handled. Perfect examples of that. If you go to RadioVegas.rocks and you find the time for shows like Freakmaster's shows on yesterday, but like next week's yesterday, he plays some really rad stuff. You understand next week's yesterday.
Absolutely.
He busts out some rad stuff that's not just in the classic rock pocket, but like also classic R&B, like soul school stuff that you wouldn't expect. That was like those club bangers of another yore, but like the kind that are so cool and so legendary that even someone that like looks like a biker would like these. Crazy. And Freakmaster does. He looks bikery. Well, bless his heart.
How do you find new music these days, Waz?
I find my new music through Patrick Pulsar Trout's show. Now, I don't have the schedule in front of me. I want to say he's like Wednesday, but don't quote me. Look up at the schedule, RadioVegas.rocks. You find Patrick Pulsar Trout's show. He's been on the station for a short amount of time, but he's been on the scene in Las Vegas as a booker like since this guy was in high school. So he's just been a known name for the cool shows. And when it comes to stuff in the rock category, he's introduced me to some rad stuff. For example, there's a local band called, let's see, I think I got this one. You know what? I think I'm going to space on it because I lined up too many things in a row to remember the name of this local band.
But I know Patrick. Patrick's
Right?
He's a good guy. Yeah.
Everybody knows Pulsar. So
He works hard. He's one of those cats that's super dedicated to the music scene.
yeah, he's bust out stuff from Australia, from all over. A ton of rad female-fronted acts too. That I think are too often neglected as a thing, but like hella excellent as well. It's just a really balanced show that he puts together some great music for that music pocket. But
The one
right
thing I
now,
will say though, I wish he would book my country band. He always posts thing on Facebook that he needs a country band, and I write to him and he doesn't reply. It's a good band. I mean, what?
yeah, that
Patrick, if you're out there, come on, Ghost Town Riders, man.
Ghost Town Riders, you guys.
I mean, just the name alone, doesn't it tickle you?
It's just right.
Right.
I swear, I think I remember when you first named it that, and this came up in conversation. I was like, yes,
Cool name.
it's proper.
I mean, the imagery is badass. Like ghosty horses running through a desert. Come on, man.
Dude, ghosty horses.
Ghosty horses, bro.
Oh, man. So enough.
Maybe that should have been the name. Maybe if I called it Ghosty Horses, then I would be he'd be all over it.
That might be the trick. This is an album name, right? Do you ever do like, okay, your reject band names is an album name?
Well, yeah, Ramphorhynchus is going to be the
Ramphorhynchus!
That's going to be my guitar instrumental.
I got one that like went through a pattern of. Have you ever had a name that like you played with it for so long as an album name that like delayed the release of an album? Dude, it's okay. This is a funny story. Okay, inside joke, inside baseball moment, real quick. Okay, this Ange Kerfoot album, that's Ange Kerfoot and Waz supposedly combo. Versus co-production thing. It's actually a big deal for us because even though she's had like 4 albums that I've helped like master or maybe done like the vocal mixing, but they've been her beats. Okay. And we've done like a couple one-offs that she might have sang on one of my beats or she's been cameoed in some of my stuff. But this one we actually produced it together. And as we were working on it, the whole time we were calling it Trumpster Babies.
Oh my.
We even did some promo. And at first we were even thinking of like that as an artist name.
Yeah.
But it's like piles of controversy.
You're going to have some people that love it and some people are going to hate it.
Yes.
Just like anything else.
Well, we asked all our friends, we told everybody, and most people either completely hated it and questioned why we'd even reference something like Dumpster Babies if you didn't get like the pun of that. And others just didn't want to hear Trump's like reference at all whatsoever. And we didn't feel like we were like promoting or discouraging. It felt like it was like neutral to us. But what happened, and we thought, okay, so if someone like likes Trump, they'll think we're like positive, and if they don't like him, we'll think it's like a mockery of him.
Right.
People just, we thought that.
You could zero in on both crowds.
From feeling out our friends, it seemed to be the opposite.
No bueno.
They
There was
seemed to
no
just
bueno
think
whatsoever.
that we were just against them in every way. But then, so like delayed even the work on the album with our like mixed feelings on. But that part of this kind of made us love it more. So it's easy to like, okay, that means it's actually perfect, right?
Absolutely.
So
who was it? Somebody famous, might have been P.T. Barnum, that said, if you want to have something be big and famous, offend the most people that you can.
It's a move. I do say that I like the idea of polarizing content that has heart. A perfect example of this would be I love albums where I don't like every song. There's songs I have to skip because I don't like them. But there's songs on the album that I love more than anything I can find on, say, an album where I like all of the songs, but I love none of them. That's a thing. If you don't take risks and make something that's not for everybody, you can't make something that's hella for certain people.
It's interesting because you and I grew up in a period of time when you would put a record on and listen to the whole record. It was an experience, right?
Yeah,
now
for
kids
sure.
just grab songs, cherry pick them, which is more akin to the 50s. Singles were big in the 50s.
It is much more like that.
I'm an album guy. Like when I was a kid and I saw Kiss for the first time on an album cover, I lost my mind. The neighbor kid down the street had it, and I begged my parents, oh my God, you got to get this. This is the greatest thing in the world. My father looked at it and says, "Fucking clowns." And he handed me a Beatles record. Said, "Just go listen to this. You'll be fine."
Also good.
Great.
But I have a
But
thought
it
on
didn't
both of
have
those.
that. It didn't have that. By the time Kiss Alive came out, that double gate fold with the handwritten letters from each member, and it had a book in it. It was like you could sit with that thing for an hour. I did.
Have you seen the album, the record album for Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Brain Salad Surgery?
Yeah. It was a whole thing, though.
Yeah, it was an event. Like
Right.
it was an item that you sat down with and you thought about. You saw like the person and the metal skull thing and Brain Salad Surgery.
It gave you something to look at when you were,
Yeah.
because we didn't, we're dating ourselves. We're old farts, you and I.
But no, this is something that's missing that I think
is.
some people are trying to bring back. I believe there's more album art emphasis, or at least album cover emphasis in modern music apps like Spotify, iTunes. There's more love for the album cover now, but it's just the cover. So as far as a delivery method for like something to hang out with the album, that's still uncharted territory. Some people have done cool things where you go to their website and there's something cool to look at while you listen to it. One band did like a thing on their site where you could turn on and off the channels. Like you could listen to just the bass and drums if you wanted to, and like do your own custom mix as you
That's
listen
cool.
to it.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I've seen that done on YouTube where the video is actually different when you do that. There's some fun stuff, but I want to pedal back from this missing visual aspect to get to something that you said about that album thing, because I think that a good and a bad thing happened in the album era. We look back on the era of albums, mournfully when we think about album artists like Pink Floyd or Tool that could put together an album experience. Yes, perfect example. My fucking favorite buddy is Yes, especially in the 70s. Look up Classic or Fragile or Close to the Edge is like 2 songs.
Even in the 80s, mid to late 80s, you had Queensryche doing these great concept albums where you had to listen to it from the beginning to the end. It told a story.
For sure.
And that's
But
not for everybody. Some
these
people
are
just
album
want
artists.
Yeah.
And what happened was a lot of artists that we might even consider among some of the greats that we love, that we might not want to say this about, kind of gamed that system. Or even if the artist didn't, the production and the machine behind them did. And they would push these artists to churn out baloney to fill an album and then push those A-sides. And that really killed the album more than any trend in technology or anything. Because what people were able to do with iTunes and with Napster downloading individual MP3s and to just get the ones they wanted, it's a shame because it let people skip over a lot of bitchin' album tracks that they didn't have put in front of them. But it was kind of a control take back to get over these albums that were just fluff around good singles to begin with.
You did have that. You had a lot, you did have that in the 50s as well. Some of these artists weren't capable of delivering an entire album that was great.
Yeah.
But could you imagine today a band like the Allman Brothers trying to get somewhere? Nobody would give them the time of day.
No, I mean, just long format songs. I feel like that's something that's missing. And that way. Exactly. So that's long format songs are in this category of background music. And I hate saying the word background music because it seems to like connotate like a lesser quality of music. Like, oh, it's not good enough to be in the foreground, it just lives in the background. But background content, I think, is a growth point in media in general. I feel like one of the purposes of this very show that you're listening to, and one of the reasons why it's primarily audio and anything visually I bring up, I always describe, and part of how it's formed and why it's 2 hours is it's meant to hang out with you. It's meant to keep you company while you clean the kitchen, while you're driving in the car. It's meant so if you miss bits of it, you're not left out of the conversation. You're still playing. And I feel like that's missing in music too, that there's explosions in things like lo-fi instrumental hip hop, study beats. Like YouTube is always pushing at me these 24-hour channels of like chill beats to study or relax to. And it's these streams, these artists will release a mix to like 3 million plays. Neotic is a great one. My favorite is The Bootleg Boy. If you look up these YouTube channels, millions of plays to these things that are absolutely background music, but in the best way. Like, I will put them on to drive to hang out with. I'll put them on for a foreground situation, but they'll give me some space to think. It's not someone blasting full loudness wars, everything compressed at max volume.
I just wonder, is there a way to interact with the listeners right now? Who's with us? Because
let's see who's chatting right now.
I have found for me, I don't have the experience much anymore where I can actually just put something on and dedicate an hour to listen to it. Like, I remember seeing my parents.
The time in your life isn't there as much, right?
Well, I just remember seeing my parents would put on a James Brown record in the living room and sit and listen to it like it was a TV show. Like, we'll dedicate an hour for Walking Dead.
Jackson Brown for my parents. Jackson Brown, the Pretender.
So I'm
put
just
that
curious,
on, sit around.
How many people will actually go to their whatever, whether it's vinyl or MP3s or a laptop, do they sit and listen to an entire album from front to back anymore?
You know when they do is traffic. Traffic is the new living room for the album music.
Wow.
Because when people sit in traffic, especially we're so close to Southern California, but anywhere you live, you're probably near somewhere where people have got hour-long commutes, 45-minute commutes.
So let's ask them, what are they listening to?
Yeah, holler in the chat.
I want to know an album that you'll put on and listen to all the way through without bumping. Like you said,
Yeah.
you got to bump through tracks.
I want to know it. We'll revisit this if you're listening to a recording and you chat this up in YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, and we don't catch you in real time. But on this note, my buddy Ray mentioned the entertainment industry killed real artistic expression. That's why music... Well, he says that's why music now is such shit. But I think that really depends on where you're going to get it.
There was always crap music. The problem is...
There was. In every decade, if you listened to what the actual radio rotation was, it was like 8 forgettable, terrible songs for every 2 that you'd actually recognize.
But think back then, though. If you really did your homework, there were a lot of hits.
Yes.
And we don't have...
Well, we don't have as many hits in the mainstream.
But we have hit makers right now.
The hit makers are in the web stats now.
Because I'm telling you, back then, 100 years ago, the Eagles could appeal to everyone. Me as a Kiss fan, I loved the Eagles. There was enough going on in there with the dual guitar solos and the kind of the Life in the Fast Lane riff. When that came on the radio, I was like, oh, wow, what's that?
Well, okay, so there might be some little sleepers like the Eagles, but the Eagles weren't appreciated in their time as much as they are now. Like as something like, okay, it's
nostalgia
you
factor
can hate the Eagles for like sport, but certain songs come on and you're like, you're gonna put up with it. You're not gonna like have to skip it unless it just culturally bothers you. The quality is there, basically. I think there's some things in the rock category. There's still Tame Impala. And then there's crossovers from hip hop that have come out of hip hop to then appeal to people that have the rock background too. So Kid Cudi's one. I like his stuff, and I've got that rock background. There's other examples.
See, you're naming things I've never heard of.
Yeah, there's
I'm so
sneaky stuff.
ignorant to newer music. I'll tell you the 2 things that I listen to that are within the last 10
I think
years.
Kid Cudi won a Grammy.
I don't watch the Grammys.
Okay.
I hate award shows.
Well, the
hate
Grammys, there's some baloney on the Grammys, but there's also some stuff that's come out of indie that's really good. A perfect example is, are you familiar with St. Vincent?
No. St.
Vincent is an indie artist and female guitarist, songwriter. Like, I think she's like a Berkeley graduate. She's like hella educationally, musically educationalized. And she played on the Grammys recently behind someone else or something, wailed on the guitar. There's a whole thing. And it was cool to see that showcased because the mainstream didn't help her much. She's like a Pandora darling, you know? So there's these other distributions. So if you look at the actual numbers, you have to throw away the terrestrial radio numbers and Vivo and what's thrown out in the mainstream channels and look at what's actually getting ears. And not just inflated Facebook numbers, but and falsified SoundCloud numbers, but all of it in the
find
aggregate.
music that way. I either get music word of mouth, stumbling through late night TV. I'll see an artist on one of the late night shows, But there's maybe 3 things right now that blow up my skirt. One is Rival Sons.
I'm not familiar with Rival Sons. Media recommendation. Check them out.
You haven't heard Rival Sons. They've been around for several years. Very early British invasion, hard rock, Led Zeppelin kind of vibe. And the recordings sound old school.
Cool.
Very analog. There's a band called Blackberry Smoke from Georgia.
Also
Great live band. I mean, this is the type of band you go see live. Okay. But I can listen to an entire record front to back, put the CD in, and I don't feel the need to bump it.
Do you feel like you gravitate mainly towards music that leans on guitar as like a primary instrument?
I do.
I think, unfortunately, I don't think it's a permanent thing. Right now, that's less common. And I think there's a lot of really great creators that just want to be noticed and steer into genres that are already familiar. And I think a lot of them that would have leaned more into guitar, many of them play guitar, are just steering more into like trap and club stuff just to get attention.
I'll tell you why. And I'm going to be the party pooper. I'm going to be the dick. Yeah. It takes time to learn how to play guitar.
Well, some of these people play guitar and they're just not leaning
in. Can press buttons and go and make sounds and noise. You could give it to and actually, have you seen the videos? Well, they'll give one of these things to a monkey, and the monkey will make a great track.
Okay, counterpoint, valid. I have spent freaking years now, although not the like giant number of years compared to the rest of the time I put into like recording and studio stuff in general, but putting into new Ableton techniques and like really mastering what can be done in Ableton. And this is aside from things like Massive, you can throw something together pretty fast on cluelessly. There's other niche things, but Ableton, while you can follow a tutorial and put something together that sounds legit, like, okay, a monkey with the right template in Ableton can put together like a pop song. Yes.
No,
but the stuff that stands out.
I didn't say what the monkey did was good.
Yeah. And that's where the shining's happening right now.
Don't misinterpret my point. The point was that when you're just pressing buttons on a gizmo like
there's
this,
less
people
of
can't
a skill
see.
To learn to just get notes out of it.
If you hand a monkey a guitar, and it's a shit show.
I have an exciting point on this though. If you have all this focus in just getting good sounds out of the instrument, I feel like if you can strip all that away and have an instrument that does beautiful sounds right away, you're focused. What do you do to stand out? How do you have something that sounds good? It's the arrangement. So when you really can mess with someone's expectations and put together a powerful arrangement, that's when you can shine with a situation like a piece of software and a keyboard in front of you that is going to find happy chords and arpeggiate through the circle of fifths or whatever just right on you.
But what happened, and again, maybe it's just...
But I think arrangement is the new good. I think like what makes a good music artist right now, what differentiates across genre is thoughtful arrangement. It's like an era of arrangement.
But what you don't have is you don't have the bands... And maybe it's just the fact that I've been doing it for 100 years. They don't get in a van and drive from hometown. Let's say hometown is Seattle, Washington. Get in a van for 8 weeks and drive all the way to New York and play shows all in between. Nowadays, it can be a kid in his underpants at home creating with a gizmo. There's no discipline. To me, I don't see the discipline in it.
I've got a counterpoint on this too. This is a good point. But what if, okay, speaking from like over this last year, people that have followed the talk show have watched every episode have a different thing go technically wrong all through season 1 and deep into season 2. But
so far, nothing yet.
On this one.
Knock on Formica.
Well, people weren't here before we broadcasted either, and I was moving the cameras all around and wiggling some stuff. Oh man, they didn't hear the buzz we got in the headphones when the headphone level from the output of the mixer was too high compared to the headphone mixer. There's all these little things. So I feel like you used to be able to throw your shit in a van, and what made your tour work or not were the logistics of the place you picked, your good connections, how full you could pack it, how much word of mouth you could get out, all these little details, how much hype you could get there. And now there's just the same amount of hype that you had to get for your tour to get people there. You have to put into online.
I'm not talking about hype. I'm talking about the years of slogging it out honing your craft.
I feel like the years of slogging it out I've put in honing, getting this broadcasty crap to work, that I think is the future of music performance. I don't think it's going to go away. Playing in clubs, playing in theaters, playing in arenas. All the levels of music performance I think are going to stay there as a type of entertainment. But I think the gateway won't be bar music anymore. It won't be where you play to these people in bars. I think it's going to be being on someone's stream feed when they're...
But that's what I'm saying. I think you're missing my point.
Well, you think the physical traveling is wearing them down?
No, but when we were kids, we did not have a way to reach the world like the kids do today. You had to physically go out and take it to the people.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to do that.
But
you can create a schnazzy YouTube channel and have some Barbie doll chick flopping around, semi-talented, super good looking. Boom, you got a hit.
Well, okay, so there's two things with that. First of all, like, you get your hit and then what? So people might get like a viral instance and have no funnel and no page full of meaty stuff for people to actually subscribe to. So what subscribes you do get drop off as soon as your baloney pops up in their feed to follow up. So that helps kind of kill that. But the other point is that while we might have lost a bit of what you're talking about that really grizzled people, I feel like there's such a bigger sea online that if you want to put out content that legitimately entertains people and does so instance after instance, because instead of like a set of songs, you've got a new piece every week, maybe a couple a month.
Sure, but you don't think that's kind of diluted the pool a little bit, that it's watered it down?
It's like, watered it down so much that it's now more work to get noticed by the amount. Yes.
See, there you go. And that's kind of the point that I'm getting to.
But that could lead to better artists.
Look at the poster that's staring at us, okay?
Rocky Horror Picture Show or Led Zeppelin?
The song remains the same. When Led Zeppelin came out, they were a mystery, okay? Think of the kids that grew up in that era of music. You had to really dig deep to get info on your favorite band.
Yeah.
I'm going to use mine as an example. Kiss.
So you have to go to the library.
Go to the newsstand and wait for Circus Magazine or Hit Parade or Cream Magazine.
I used to collect
once a month
printed bios of Pearl Jam, like buy weird off-brand import box sets and stuff just to get a different bio of Pearl Jam, because I couldn't go on the internet and look up a bio of Pearl Jam. And they had said different stuff. There was like conflicting stuff on Eddie Vedder's life. It was like legit.
Here's to wrap up my point. Nothing is a mystery anymore. There's no mystery to what this generation of artists.
Tragic point.
Excuse me. I think we're overloaded with YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. There's so much information about artist A or artist B that where's the mystery?
What if this is part of the death of the mainstream artist in general? What if we're going to come back to an era of like genres and cliques again? Because right now we live in an era where like, it's not weird for people to like multiple genres of music. We have our favorite genres, but like any other genre comes up and any of us can name a band or two that we like of whatever genre.
And you know that's not what it was like when you went to high school.
Hell no.
You had your
genre, you had your crowd. Right. And I feel like that might be coming back because of all of the crowdedness. There's going to be a certain literacy that people have and openness. But people are going to start mixing genres in ways that are kind of unique to a certain cult. So
I have a feeling though that you had enough sack to say, I like it. I don't care what the crowd thinks.
Yeah.
Paws had some sack. I'll tell you how goofy I was. I grew up in a small little farming community outside of Lake Tahoe. The only kid at school with a Kiss t-shirt on, fingernails painted black, hair teased up, but going and then playing Jerry Reed and Buck Owens and Willie Nelson. You don't expect a guy in a Kiss t-shirt to play outlaw country.
Yeah.
And I got grief for it, got into fist fights over it, but I didn't care because to me, music's music.
Yeah.
If it moves you, then it's good.
Yeah, and I feel like there's another takeaway here that...
And don't think I'm slagging the guys that push buttons and the guys that are out making money with a laptop.
Because
There
there's
is-
a cream that rises to the top.
There is.
If they can
There
put
is
together a real arrangement,
Absolutely.
they can rise above.
There's a certain amount of that is.
But they've got a big pool to show to rise to the surface of.
But
It's a lot of
put
that going around.
Put the point on the arrow. Any dickhead can press buttons. Hand that same dickhead a guitar and watch him. Watch him whinge in front of you.
People used to say this about guitar, though. In the Kurt Cobain era, people used to say any dickhead can pick up a guitar and learn a Kurt Cobain song. And this was a time when singer-songwriters were a thing, where you could sit down with an acoustic guitar and that would be enough production.
It was the anti-shred movement.
Yeah, have you heard anything released by anybody that's just a singer and an acoustic guitar? In 10 years? Hardly. There's so little of that now.
I hear it because I go to Nashville often.
Right on.
So I get to go and be a part of the scene at the Bluebird and Third and Lindsay. I mean, I was just in Nashville and had some great, down and dirty songwriting experiences.
Nice.
So yes, I say yes, but it's because
when that stuff, if it gets behind a label or it gets a lot of distribution or something, it usually gets some string pads thrown on there and shit.
Do you remember I used to have acoustic slam dance here in Vegas?
Yeah, acoustic slam dance.
And I've thought of bringing it back to where it's really just about the guy with the guitar and the song. And
one of the best things about that was
you had songs like Dance Dance Revolution that were a full production, but you could still perform it acoustically.
That's where I was going. That there's great acts in town that would strip down their full band set to show us what the core of a song was.
Here's the kernel. Here's where it started.
And that's what I'm hoping will become more known with all the button pushing that you were talking about, is that when people can have a core identity to their song, actual hooks and good arrangement, and have that thought behind it, that's what's going to rise to the top of stuff that's in that genre pocket.
I'm going to plant a seed.
Yeah?
Maybe later this year at some point, if ever some time opens up here, let's you and me do a once a month acoustic slam dance show.
That's a great idea. We could definitely put that together.
Because that's how I used to come in here. I've been here 2 or 3 times with Jay, with my acoustic duo, Elegant Vagabonds.
Yeah, and we've got this new gear. We revamped this studio. We've gone over Studio B some too, and it's just the station's never been more ready for a little deal like that. That's a good idea.
Since that's how you and I met, was that acoustic slam dance.
I will help you organize that. We're gonna make this.
We could bring it back to life, a once a month show, and then maybe I'll find a venue and start doing it weekly at a venue, and then we'll do the once a month wrap up.
Mm-hmm. We could do that at a venue and remote it on the station for the RadioVegas.rocks listeners. And that also fits with something that I feel really obligated to help. This is another thing that I want to announce to people listening to this that want to do something like this. Hit me up on Facebook, Instant Messenger. This is the best place just to keep up on this. But I mean, you can do email too from the Greasy Conversation side if you hate even the messenger part of Facebook. That's cool. But what I want to do is just throw tips and help you get unstuck if you're trying to take your venue shows and get them streamed, whether you're streaming them on your phone. Perfect example of this, it's a great way to do this, is you can get a little bit better microphone for your phone or an adapter to hook your phone to the mixer at an event, and a little clip for your phone and a tripod. And then you can get dozens of people to be at your show from their couch. And you can do it at a more unique place, a smaller venue, a coffee shop, a unique art gallery, and have an event that doesn't depend on as many people being at that specific event, but still has the event. And I feel like those are stronger than if you just go full bedroom stream, which is cool too.
You can do that.
Those can be really intimate, and there's some great ones. Spacey Blur, shout out, in town, does this on Twitch, and it's awesome. A little bit more on the noise side, but he's got a sense of beauty too. But that's when you do it at a venue or at an actual place. My favorite was an art gallery. There's some Greasy Conversation shows on YouTube that are like that, where we played in an art gallery but stashed cameras and got a board recording so that there's this production too. And a little goes a long way. And you can start with your phone. If you need tips to get unstuck, hit me up because I really want to help people get streams
Take advantage,
involved.
people. Take advantage of
Yeah,
the Woz.
I got hot tips. You can
He
not.
is a mad scientist.
I've made all of the mistakes.
If a mad scientist humped a genius, you get Woz.
Here's how you know I'm an actual mad scientist. It's the pile of crap in the corner of things that I like broke or whatever from the mistakes that you can not make because I made them already and I'll help you not make them.
That's a great
There's
idea.
been fires.
Hit them up. Let's get these going.
I'll help you not have fires.
That's how we're going to bring back great songwriting.
Yeah.
And not just bleeps and blurps and boops, is by giving people that have a song a platform to show it.
A platform and some help with the tools so that they can be in the same category as the people that know the tools but don't have the same skill in arrangement and understanding hooks. You can't let people like that just step in front of you when you can just copy and paste what they learned. You can literally copy and paste templates to get started. I learned Ableton starting with templates. There's no shame in that.
No.
I use presets all the time.
Sure.
Presets are there for a reason. You don't have to start everything from scratch to make something with heart. What's important is the heart and the psychology.
You know what I miss? And I've gotten wrapped up in being a professional musician. You have to make money.
Yeah.
To call yourself a professional musician, it's what you do for a living, which I'm fortunate enough to say that I do. But what it does is it distracts from the original music. Because
You kind of have to compartmentalize like a separate project, right?
And I think over the last year I've woken up to the fact that, hey, I can do both.
Yeah.
I don't sleep. There's 24 hours in a day. If I just get my head out of my ass, I can do both.
And
I'm
find
going
out what
to.
you want to do as your own pet thing.
The important thing is to have something to say, though, that people want to hear. That's the hardest part, is have something to say that moves people.
That's underrated in instrumental music. You could have no vocals and you still need to have something to say in the instrumental part as far as like a hook or a feeling or like you're painting a picture of a place.
Do you listen to Explosions in the Sky?
Yes!
Oh, man.
Okay, Explosions in the
Brilliant.
Sky is one of the biggest influences on Greasy Conversation, the band. It's a big reason why we're like an instrumental focused band, even though we have an announcer, is that band specifically, especially the drums.
You can, you can put on any one of their albums, CDs, and get lost in it.
For sure.
It's like a movie soundtrack almost. And
it
transported.
functions very well as background music, but still satisfies as foreground music
Right.
if you want it to. And that pocket is just I can't say enough how
I
underrated
discovered
it is.
them on Austin City Limits. I was flipping through one night,
Nice.
and I saw 3 guitar players and a drummer, and I was like, "What's going on here?" There's no singer, there's no bass player. It was just 3 dudes with guitar, and I was mesmerized.
If
I
you
was dumbfounded.
if you like them, you would really like the Mercury Project or the
Okay.
Mercury. What's the NASA thing? It's named after the NASA, the Mercury. I think it's the project. Sounds too trite. I don't think it's project.
Okay.
The Mercury
Mission?
band. The Mercury band. No. Oh man, there's a stupid Mercury band. I think it's. Oh man, it sucks because I haven't checked them out in a while. But their music really.
Mercury Mission.
It really makes you feel. It's probably project. It really makes you feel like you're.
Mercury
no, that's-
Merkin? Is there a Mercury Merkin?
Oh man, I'm gonna send you the wrong place. Explain to everybody what a merkin is, because that's a really funny thing to just bring up and not.
It's a toupee for your nether region.
Yeah, it's a toupee.
Back in the back in the era of kings and queens, it was you were more attractive if you had more hair down there. So they actually wore toupees. It's Merkin would be a great band name. There probably already is, huh?
Merkin Ball.
Just Merkin.
Do you know what Merkin Ball is?
No.
Neil Young teamed up with Pearl Jam as his backing band for an album called Mirror Ball.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Pearl Jam released a companion single called Merkin Ball.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Mirrorball I knew, yes, but
Yeah.
I gotta look that up.
Dude, Merkin Ball includes the it's just 3 songs. The first one's called I Got ID. It's probably my favorite Pearl Jam song.
Cool.
But Neil Young's solos behind it.
Nice.
Breathtaking. Okay, just listen to that. This Mercury Project that is not the right name of this band. I'll post the link later when I figure it out. So did you know? Okay, let's totally. Are you ready for a total switcheroo?
Please.
If you hate music, but you like this show, here's another fun tip that's completely unmusical. Or is it? Apparently, online dating is the most safe to do in New England, but most dangerous in Alaska.
You know what?
Fun fact.
I could see that though, because isn't there a huge disparity in Alaska? There's like 20 guys to every chick.
Oh, that's how Vegas is.
That's probably not the exact number, but there's a huge disparity.
Yeah. Have you noticed Las Vegas is like that too, where it's just like sausage town if you like live here?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of ladies. They're all dancing around. They can just pick whatever they want.
You know, I don't go out much, Waz. You know, I live in a rock.
Yeah.
All I do is tinker and make music.
That's why I'm talking about that streaming, though.
Right?
You can stream in your car. You're probably streaming. You're literally streaming right now. And
Nice.
That's how it's at. But the thing is, I don't think this is the death of live music or going to live shows at all. I think, if anything, it makes these a bigger deal. Because any event, whether you go to it in person or from your home, you go to it in person, it's more special because you look around, you might see 10 or 20 people, but know that like there's hundreds more that see it that can talk to you about it and you can say, I was there.
Well, you know,
way bigger deal about being there.
think back to Acoustic Slam Dance. We kind of created our own culture there. We had a group of regulars, 30, 40 people that would show up
Yeah.
and made it great.
Yeah.
I see some of these guys now and they're still playing.
You know, there's a point I wanted to make that's kind of a macro of that point. We kind of formed a community. We kind of formed
We did.
a little cult there. And if you're an indie artist, not just a musician, but a visual artist or whatever art you're trying to do, and you look at this giant pool and you feel daunted by what we said earlier about how there's never been more competition and never been a bigger sea to be buried in when people discover you online as opposed to just in your town. But on the bright side, you can find your clique, you can find your people. And I think that that's way more delicious and rewarding.
Yeah,
I have more
we made
fun.
a scene.
Yeah.
We made a scene out of it.
I have more fun with the people that I love to see their feedback from this show, specifically that are people I actually like know in real life, than I wouldn't trade any one of them for 100 randos.
But do you remember when we moved Acoustic Slam Dance from the Cheyenne Saloon to Gallows, the pizza place on Cheyenne?
That was like the real era.
I mean,
I
there were-
remember the most.
I'm talking hundreds, not 10 people or 15 people. We would have 150 people
Crammed in this little
crammed
pizza
into
place.
this
Yeah.
little pizza place and more people waiting outside because it was something that was done, I think, with the right intentions.
And those numbers are representative of the fact that there's literally, like, mathematically no shame in having a cult following. Because when you've got this giant pool, say you have something that appeals a lot to just your people, but it's not a perfect fit for everybody. And it'll never be something that just is for everybody, but it'll always be, like, say, for example, custom cars. There's always going to be the majority of people that don't care what the hell you paint on your car or what the exhaust is or whatever.
True.
Yet it's one of the biggest like hobbies or passions that that's super universal. There's plenty of people to support multiple economies.
You know, it's funny.
And, like-
I think you came down a few times. I used to work with Danny Coker.
Mm-hmm.
I was production manager for his band. And I spent hours down there. And in the hours...
Down where for the people? that
Counts
don't-
Customs.
Yeah, Counts Customs. Which
'cause
there's like a car museum there. For people that don't know, it's really cool and worth checking out.
And in the years that I was there, I went over to the car side twice.
It's not for everybody.
Cars are just not my thing. To me, a car is something that I jump in to go from here to the venue,
Yeah.
unload my gear, play, come back.
And I feel like you as an artist out there
But there were
can
people
find
that
those
were like
people.
crazy about
Yeah.
it. I mean, they were like, and they still are. They're over the moon. The guy does amazing work.
And I think those people are happier than, like, quote unquote famous people. We look at people that get to the level where they would be considered famous or celebrities.
Right.
To most people, they're having way less fun than people that are like, oh, I'm big in this scene. oh, I'm really connected in this car scene, for example. Those people are having way more fun. The people that are into that with them, they just connect with way tighter. And even though it's a smaller group of people, it's oftentimes plenty enough to make your whole living as an artist.
Yeah.
Whether it's sponsorship connections or partnerships with brands, or you create or work on something that's alongside the media hype. Say you're an actual car customizer rather than just like a journalist, but wherever your association with is that, you can have a huge audience. You can have an audience the size of what would be considered a mainstream audience back in the day.
Dude,
These mini mainstreams.
being on the road with him was like being with Elvis.
Dang, I bet.
We would show up somewhere and there would be tons of people just wanting to say hi, get their muffler signed, or a lot of people would bring the visor off their Corvette. I didn't expect it. I didn't realize, because again, it's not my scene. Totally ignorant to the fact that there are people that are so into that culture.
And they're more into him and that community than they could ever be in any like mainstream artist. And that's beautiful. That's
It was
tighter.
unique.
And that's like, I don't want to say it's the new famous, because it's like way better than famous.
It's
It's community famous.
yeah. It's almost like
That's why it's kind of like beautiful.
it was like family.
Yeah.
I think there are people that, no matter who you are as a celebrity, if you're in people's homes once a week, they think they know you.
Yeah. Especially if it's like your people.
And to see him react to people and treat them like friends and family was great. Because I've been around a lot of celebrities that are douchebags. They can't handle it. He handled it with grace.
I know you have. It's like I'm like holding back.
He handled it with grace and tact.
Yeah. He's a really cool dude.
He is.
For sure.
Great
Danny
guy.
Coker.
Great guy.
I totally blew past the commercial break.
Let's
I
get
got
it.
so excited. Come on, you guys. Let's get it. You guys ready? You guys pumped up? I want to hear you scream quietly. There's silent screams, you guys. Everybody quietly scream.
Hey everybody, Crazy Jay from the Rockin' Comedy Show. There's a lot of talk right now about new year, new you. What about new you, old car that needs to look new? If you've been listening to RadioVegas.rocks for the past couple of months, then you know all about Angel Wax and how amazing this product really is. We've been telling you about it, people have been buying it, and it's only gonna get better. So what do I mean by that? How about Tommy Davis, the man behind Angel Wax? He's getting ready to start an invasion. An invasion you're going to want to be a part of. This is where they're going to travel across the country doing public hands-on demos, and they're going to bring the brand out to more people in the public eye, and more people are going to know about it. That means more beautiful looking cars on the road. Angel Wax, check it out online. Check them out on Facebook. Order yours today. Mention RadioVegas.rocks. You're not going to be disappointed. If you're a car buff who loves to spend the weekend or a lot of time detailing your car, you need to get all products from Angel Wax, and you need to order them today.
Wax! You know, I thought it was wax like you do weed with, but it's totally wax for your car, which is kind of like, you know, spiritually similar. Hey, remember when we talked about these guys? Check it out. This was actually a clip from this Greasy Conversation show about pinches. Check it out.
You guys love tacos?
I do.
I do.
Okay, right? Yeah.
Love tacos.
I
That's
don't
my
care-
spirit animal.
I don't care what gender you are, or, you know, we love tacos, right?
Sexually identify as a taco.
Yes! Whatever, man. But, you know, since we all love tacos, we all need to know about Pinche's Tacos. And do you know where it's at? It's 9205 West Russell Road. It's an awesome place for lunch, dinner, or both. Here at RadioVegas.rocks, we love this place so much that if you mention us and order a blood orange margarita, they will give you a free gringo taco. What? Free gringo taco? Yes, that's right. That's what I said. And you know what else? It's like, okay, you're like, well, I don't really feel like driving over there. They have 2 locations, bruh. 2 fucking locations. But you need to get in on this deal. You must visit the Russell location. I mean, yeah, that's where you gotta go for the free gringo tacos. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? If you're just like, I don't have gas for that, but I have money for tacos, just go to the other one. But yeah, Pinche's Tacos, because who else doesn't love tacos, man?
Tacos, gotta love them tacos. Oh, yeah. Greasy Conversation on RadioVegas.rocks. That's what
Some
you're
talk.
involved with right now.
I am going to actually go there.
Pinche's
'Cause
Tacos.
I'm always on the hunt for that special taco.
The best part is that their name is a swear word in Spanish. Like, you shouldn't just call people Pinche.
No.
No.
I get slapped.
Yeah. Yeah. Your reaction was great. Surprised you with the swooshies.
Yeah, man.
So we're at the tail end. If there's some news in here that you don't know that you missed, because of course there is, you can check out our news notes. These actual notes that I've swooped in here that especially Greg like slaved over these. Dive deep with us. Check them out. They're going to be linked. They're currently linked at greasyconversation.com, and you can go there.
Who's that?
This is one of the other people that faked their Harvard letter. Oh, this is too deep.
Wow.
There's just more stuff about fake college time. Okay, this is fun. An Oregon man called police about a burglar, but armed officers found instead a rogue Roomba. You don't see what I'm...
Is
there
that
we
the
go.
vacuuming robot?
The vacuuming robot.
He got in trouble. The robot did.
Robot's in trouble. This robot was cuffed.
Unbelievable.
If you're unfamiliar coming in on this season fresh, we have a segment we call News Chug. We're just going to chug through as much news as we possibly can.
Hey, now. look
And
at
this
that.
site, there's a new Pompeii that's an inactive volcano outside of the big boot of Italy. And recently, scientists have been able to just pick up this hum in the ocean.
Really?
And that hum gave them a picture of where the lava was flowing. So now we know the lava pathway that's building up for this new Pompeii outside of Italy.
What part of Italy do we know?
By the toes.
By the time.
Maybe it's by the heel.
Okay.
That I don't know. But there's a pretty thick article here linked in our news.
Excellent.
Dig into that. Okay, we got
Can I quote you on that?
verbatim.
You made a Ramphorhynchus sound. Dude.
That's what they sound
That's
like.
what they sound like.
Oh my gosh, this ad scroll. Okay, I want this picture and not that ad. Thanks. Oh, that's not a happy picture. So there's a new study by Gallup, the Gallup poll people, and that they found that the 10 countries with the most negative attitudes, they're here on the screen. I'm not going to read through all of this right now because it's news chug. You can look this up. You're chugging.
Where people are dicks.
No, these are where people are just sad. They're not happy. They're not looking positive about their future.
Bleak.
But the thing is, folks in the first world, like us in America and Europe, where things are considered the most economically and technologically kicking ass, they're in the middle. They're not the happiest. The happiest people are really leaning into their culture. And my takeaway from this was the fact that Latin America smiles like no one else, as this article says. Now,
You know why?
why is that?
One word.
What's that? Hakuna
Tacos.
Matata? Tacos. It's tacos. Yeah. So, get this out. Get this. Panama, Guatemala, Mexico, El Salvador, and Honduras. 3 of those are countries that are gripped by civil war and bombing our borders now with refugees that risk death just remaining normal citizens in their regular country.
True.
They're traveling all the way, knocking at our border just to preserve their own future of their family in war-torn countries. These are some of the people that answered the happiest and most positive in this poll.
I think tacos.
Tacos, you
and
guys.
They have killer weather.
Yeah.
Guatemala, I think, is overall the best weather in the world.
It's a shame we can't have Vegas-level tourism over there without all the people shooting each other.
Let's sort them out. Can we sort them out?
We can sort them out. I think we just need to go to their governments, do a bunch of assassinations, and just do what we do.
What about hugs? Like, what if we just went down there and handed out hugs? No?
Some people you hug, some people you assassinate. We just we filter it out.
You got to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got an American military. Our military builds schools and teaches skilled children and kills people with drones. We do it all, so we can just the whole spectrum. We can get it done. But
I think you hit on something. What if we had a drone that swooped down and gave you a hug?
swooped down to hug you, and then he taught you a couple words in English.
And brought you a taco.
Yeah! Taco
Like
drums.
the robot. What was the robot's name? The wheeled robot that had the food?
Oh, I forgot his
him?
name. It was like Chibi Robo.
I'm trying to tie it all in for you, Was.
Dude, nice callback. I'll call him Chibi Robo, even though that's Japanese words. Okay.
I hope we get that here, though. It would be. I would rather have a robot at my door than some pimply faced kid who's crabby about his job.
Oh,
And forgets the Parmesan.
these Parmesan forgetters are a problem.
They're assholes.
Parm forgetters.
You know what an asshole is, though?
What?
An asshole?
COLE? Is this like a?
It's the idiot tourist that comes up to you when you're in the middle of a song performing and they want to ask you something.
And his name is Cole?
God almighty, man.
Dude, that is the worst when you're playing
does that?
a musical thing and someone thinks that you can use your mouth to answer a question for them.
All of a sudden they
While
want to come
you're
up and
doing
get
that.
chit-chatty. Oh. That's an asshole.
That's the grossest. Okay.
You guys know any Skinnerd?
What you do is you just answer super affirmatively and then continue what you're doing. Like, yeah, this is a Skinner song right now. It's a deep cut.
I had a band when the dickhead would shout out Freebird. We'd freaking play it. The long version.
Just don't stop.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So there's some highlights here. Satanic. There's a Satanic temple in Salem, Oregon, and it's now a tax-exempt church. Check that out in the notes. We talked about
That's fair, though. Right? Turnabout's fair play. I think it's a church, right?
Listen, I don't think this is a very controversial thing to say, but I'm going to say it as if it's controversial.
Go ahead. Hit me.
What's the difference between that and Scientology? Except that Scientology costs a lot more money. Sorry.
I think it's fair, man. I think it's time. I'm going to say something controversial.
Give it to me. It's time we appreciate Satan. I'm there. I'm with that.
No. All these
Not too far.
any church that doesn't give 90% of the money that they generate through the church back to the community, tax the fuck out of them.
Worthy. Dude, that's a really good note to end on. Do you have any last snippets, any last shout outs?
I say this almost at the end of every performance.
Nice.
Life would be so much better if we were just a little more kind to one another.
That says it all, right? Yeah, and that's the end. That's the tail end Greasy Conversation. But don't go away. If you're listening on RadioVegas.rocks, or if you're not, go there, type it in your browser, RadioVegas.rocks, and check out Two Clueless Dudes. Two Clueless Dudes is next.
Thanks, everybody. All love.
All love. In fact, alllove.com is a great place to check out more K Caruso splendidness. Am I right?
Absolutely. Come say hi.